What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Percy Jackson, The Olympians, Season 2, Episodes 4 and 5. So, in these episodes, so you have a flashback of Grover trying to guide Annabeth, Luke, and Talia to camp. Luke and Talia don't want to go camp, but eventually, due to the fact that Annabeth's little, they decide to take her there. Especially when, like, after Annabeth's kidnapped by a Cyclops. Of course, the furries attack. Furies attack Talia. Talia sacrifices herself. We know that story. So, you know, of course, in the present, Tyson's concerned about the great prophecy, but Percy mentions his prophecy from his from the first season. Told that friend would betray him, but basically Annabeth and Grover did not betray him. And then so basically Carice and her crew basically confronts Percy, Annabeth, and Tyson. Percy challenges Clarice, and then Annabeth kills some of the crew members, and that forces Clarice to take them to the Sea of Monsters. And again, they have to face either Scylla or Charybdis. Basically, you have so the deal with Scylla. 6 of the zombie crew members have to be sacrificed to enter Sea of Monsters, and then but while 3 men are taken by Scylla, Clarice changes course to deal with Charybdis. And Percy tries to change course by using the water in a whirlpool where Charybdis is. But Thermos opens, and basically the ship that they're on is destroyed inside of a cyclone. And so Percy and Annabeth, they end up at Cersei's lair, which is like a spa, and they believe that Tyson and Clarice are dead. And that basically how they get out of there, they need to deal with the sirens and try to figure out their fatal flaw. And Clarice awakens at Polyphemus' island, where Grover's at, and she's captured by Polyphemus. And when Grover tries to help her escape, he forgets disguise, and Polyphemus learns that Grover's a satyr. Now Percy, during his little train, whatever, learns that his fatal flaw is his friends, like his care for his friends, which that could cause problems for him and the rest of the world, especially with the Great Prophecy. And Percy confronts Cersei about her train basically being full of crap, and that leads to Percy turning him into a guinea pig. And Annabeth finds Percy as a guinea pig and turns him and the other guinea pigs back into humans. Some and the other guinea pigs are Blackbeard and his crew. So Blackbeard in in the Percy Jackson books is a son of Ares. Despite being a naval captain, due to the fact that he was very famous for I guess plundering stuff. He was named the son of Ares in the Percy Jackson books, which is kind of surprising. You would think he'd be Poseidon, since he was sailing a ship, but whatever. Yeah, this is one of the things that the books did. You have a bunch of famous historical figures that they said were demigods. Like I think if I recall correctly, like there like I think there was like a at least a there was like a Roman emperor who was like a son of well Zeus, but in the Heroes of Olympus series you had the Roman name, so it was the son Jupiter. Anyway, like that's something the books like did a lot. You had they had thing where the various deities. Yeah, they're a bunch of pantheons, like because you also have Norse and Egyptian gods brought in. Anyway, so like how they impacted history. So Annabeth ties up Percy and faces the sirens, and she believes she's being held by Athena, but Athena's it's really be an illusion caused by sirens. Percy saves her, and then they escape the sirens and they get to Polyphemus's island. So yeah. So yeah, I mean, these episodes, the acting is better than the previous ones. Like with 2 and 3, like episodes 2 and 3, the acting is freaking awful. But in these episodes, it gets a little better. Not the level of the first episode of the season, but it's a little better. But I mean, it's like the books are just the way the books are done, like how that story progresses. It's done so much better. The show is like yeah, the actors and they all talk about how much they like the books. Thankfully, at least someone talks about it. But it's a lot, and of course, the author is involved. Rick Riordan is involved with this. But it's like, okay, it just I don't know if it's just if it's a Disney thing, where it feels like it just doesn't feel like so you have Harry Potter, like the Harry Potter movies, you had how those went. Like frankly, I would be interested to see what Chris Columbus would have done with these books, like just due to his experience with Harry Potter, well at least with the first two. But I did not like the like personally. I like these episodes. They were mid overall. Like I mean that's what I think. Well, I mean, okay. So back to Chris Columbus. He did direct you know Lightning Thief. Like he did direct Lightning Thief. He didn't direct Sea of Monsters. He did direct Lightning. We know the problems the Lightning Thief movie had, and so I don't know how much of that was Chris Columbus's fault. How much of that was Craig Titley's. Anyway, but this just, I mean, there's. It's like I'm watching this just to review it. Like it is hard to care about this show. Like it's just the story progression does not come across well. Like I mean, Polyphemus sounds freaking awesome. Like Polyphemus is like I'm like okay, like that is a presence, that is a voice. But overall, I don't I can't say I'm a fan of these episodes. But I'll watch the rest of this season. Stranger Things season 5, episode 8, full season and full series. So yeah, so in this finale, basically everyone, the group's trying to get to the abyss, and 11, Callie, and Max, they link themselves to Vecna's mind to keep him from merging the abyss and Earth. Vecna escapes, and Hopper is tricked by Vecna into breaking the link. The military attacks the group, and Callie is killed by is shot by Akers, and 11 then kills Akers. So Holly and Max, they help the kids get out of Vecna's mind. And Will sees a memory of Vecna when he was younger, when it's revealed that basically a piece of the mind flare was in the briefcase that the of the owned by the guy that Vecna killed as a kid, and that gave Vecna his powers. And Will says that Vecna was just as much a victim as he was, and tries to convince Vecna to resist against the mind flare, but Vecna refuses, and basically saying that the mind flare showed him that the world was broken, all that he needed to be destroyed. And so the mind flare appears as like a kaiju like being. And so you have 11 and Will fight Vecna. And while everyone else is trying to fight the mind flare, and the mind flare is killed, and Joyce cuts off Vecna's head. Everyone returns to Hawkins, but the military arrests him. But 11 had stayed behind as the Upside Down is destroyed, and then a year and a half later, basically you have Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas, Max. They all graduate high school. They all go. So basically, everyone. So Jonathan's become like a filmmaker. Nancy drops out of college to take like a internship at like the Boston Herald. Steve has become a baseball coach and sex ed teacher. And Robin, basically she's like coming did guest spot like in the radio, and so everyone agrees. They agree to meet up, and then you have your the main group of you have you know Mike, Will, Lucas, Dustin, Max. They have one final D&D game before, like, I guess leaving for like school and jobs and stuff. And during the game, basically Mike, talks about their future, like envisions within the campaign each of their respective futures, and he theorizes that 11 with Callie's help had faked her death, and that what the 11 they saw die was an illusion, and that she could be out there somewhere, like keys away from everything. And then basically, so they go up to have dinner. Then Holly and her friends start playing Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, here's what I say. The last scene, like, okay, ending it with the game of D&D, that's fine. That makes some sense. Here's some issues. Okay, look, here's a fact. No one cares about Callie. She's not a relevant character. Like, okay, she's relevant, but she's not that important. I mean, really, they could have just killed her off. They should have just killed her off screen. That is basically saying, like, maybe like Darren, you could say something where Vecna said that he had killed like all the other. He found those that survived and like basically killed Callie off screen, and that's why he was missing from. So anyway, that's what should have happened with Callie. But Callie was going to die. Most people could have predicted that. And now one thing happened. So Hopper proposes to Joyce and says that he was offered a job in Montauk, New York, which allowed him to be closer, allow them, which it pays more than Hawkins, and it would allow him and Joyce to be closer to to like Jonathan and Will. And yeah, so basically one of the so the mind flare. So Will and 11 were fighting the mind flare, or fighting Vecna. Everyone else was fighting. So one that shouldn't make sense. That made no sense. When it comes to powers, given the size of the mind flare, um, that should have been divide and conquer. Like given the way things were, Eleven should have fought the Mind Flayer while Will fought Vecna. That is basically how it should have been handled. Or the other way around, because Will was connected to the Mind Flayer. Ba- basically, like, obviously they're setting up these confrontations between Will and Vecna, so it may have made sense for Will to fight Vecna while Eleven fights the Mind Flayer, since she's the one with power since the beginning. But anyway, don't either way could have worked. But it should have been divide and conquer. One fights the Mind Flayer, one fights Vecna. That is how it should have been. Not have all these non-power people fight the Mind Flayer and kill it. Because guess what? They don't really have a way to end. There is no one dies. No one like outside Callie and a few minor characters, no one dies. And as far as like the military, so we see it. Oh yeah, everything's back. So look, here's how like here is how, in my opinion, it should have gone after the what it would have helped with the runtime. You could have had like a montage of someone speaking, saying what happened to everyone. Hey, they did like so and so did this for a career, graduated, blah blah, and then maybe had Mike say, hey, what everyone who all went to college, who all got what jobs everyone got, basically explained everything and say basically and showed all that could have been handled like that. The last section could have been handled like a just a montage, like an overview, like how a lot of biography, like sometimes a lot of biopics end where you have like this overview saying what happened. Everyone, not a lot of that. No, a lot of biopics that's in the credits, but I mean you have like an overview, like someone speaking, saying what happened to everyone. Like you that could have that could have been maybe that could have been a few minutes, and then you end it with like with them playing D&D. Like that would have taken 5 minutes at the most, maybe. Instead of because there was it seems like there was so much time wasted, and then parts, and then the abyss. It's not really explained enough. Like they don't really explain the abyss. It's like, okay, you just introduced the abyss in this last segment of episodes, and you don't explain it really. Like, okay, we have the mind flare. That's it. And yeah, I'm really there is a lot they could have done. And look, keep it ambiguous as like, okay, 11 might be alive. Okay. I mean, that's that. I mean, that is a kind of a dumb thing. Yeah, there's some dumb things in it. I mean, I feel like it seems like they wasted a lot of time where they could have just I mean, this could have been shortened so much. Like this could, and you had the whole thing with like Boris being teased, and that we didn't get anything with that. Like, so who knows? Because I mean, there is something they could have done. There's so much they could have done well with this, but it just under delivered. Like it seems like it was not a good finale. And as far as the overall season goes, it was not a good season. It it wasn't. It was it wasn't a good season. Like that's just how it was. Like it wasn't a good season. I mean, and as far as the overall show, I mean, well, so I mean those shows. So season one is pretty good. Season one, I think most people agree, is the best season. Like, and season two, I'm one of the people that actually likes season two for the most part. Yes, you had the whole Ram thing with Callie. That thing was like that was dumb. And then like yeah. So I'm like I'm of the opinion that like I didn't think it was good. I like this show season one was good. Season two was also good. Season three first half sucks. It's not good. The Now the Russian base stuff was great, and once you get to the second half, that's where it really just focuses on the Russian base and the mind flare, not on the dumb journalism nonsense that bogs down a lot. The relationship melodrama that bogs down season three, the first half. Once you get to the second half, where it's just Russian bait, Russians and mind flare, and that's it. That's where it's like, okay, let's go. I was like, yes, it's like yes, let's go with that. Like that, at least in my personal opinion. And season four was good. Vecna was actually a good villain. I mean, he was. Like Vecna was a cool villain. But in season five, it's like it's nothing. It's like, why is he taking so long to do stuff? Like that is my question. It's like, why is it taking so long for him to do stuff? Like okay, let's hurry up here. It's like let's go. Like overall, the show, like if you take everything overall, on average, it's like okay. It's like approximately like a 67% overall. Because you had a good first season, good second season, an okay third season, a good fourth season, then a bad fifth season that drags it down. Like the overall score. Overall score is like okay. Like it's not a good like yeah, I mean that's just how it is. Like there are some good moments in this season, but it's like there was a lot of nothing and a lot of melodrama. Like some of the issues that had season three had were just expand upon in this, and was did worse than season three was with it. Especially that middle section, like with episodes 5 through 7. Holy crap! As far as the show, look, the show you can argue it could have ended with the first season. Do like some horror movie, like it was inspired by horror films. You have some ambiguous endings and stuff. And this one, they end the shows like if you're gonna go along for this long, probably there's you don't need to, there's ways to do it ambiguously. Like obviously you have the Sopranos with its famous ending with just cut to black. You didn't know if Tony Soprano was shot or if he's alive. I think most people agree he's dead. So Tony was dead. I think he was dead anyway. But like, and yeah, the whole 11 might be alive. Well, given what they were setting up with Callie, I don't think that's I don't like. It's like they should have. Like I think the fact that no one got killed off, and yeah, Ted Wheeler, they freaking okay. He might be. I'm guessing he like they just don't acknowledge him. Like he just like yes, the joke is he's kind of a dork. That is part of the joke, and like but it's like you're not even gonna acknowledge him. Like if he's dead, mourn him. Like that. That was like it, yeah, but like so I mean he is alive, but it's like he doesn't like he's ignored and like he's treated like crap. Like, but it's like yeah, that's like it's dumb in my like they should have killed like I'm surprised Steve survived. I'm shocked. I'm kind of surprised Steve survived. I thought they were going to kill him off, and that would make for his character. He's a character you can understand them killing off. And Callie most people expected Callie. Hopper not after they brought him back. You know, in season 4, of course, there's the tease that he's alive in the end of season 3. Like they were not. I don't think they were going to kill off Hopper like that. Joyce, no, because I think the end game was to have Hopper and Joyce get married. I think that was the end game for them. And of course, the idea then like Nancy Jonathan, like basically, well, Nancy's had been kind of like Nancy was cool in like the first 2 seasons, and season 4, season 3, not so much. Season 5 was definitely a regression back to how she was in season 3, like as a character. And it's like, what the frick? And it's like, so she dropped out of school. Well, at least she got a job. Like, at least she got a job to try to do that. And hey, Steve got a stable job as a baseball coach and a teacher. Ironic. His subject is ironic, but it's the show went out on Whimper. This is like one of the biggest shows Netflix has ever done, if not the this is one of the biggest, and it went out on a whimper. Didn't go out with a bang like Cobra Kai. Like Cobra Kai went out strong, like it did. This did not, and I hope one like the live action One Piece doesn't end with the whimper, but it might. But this show, based on the average, my opinion, what the my average score for it is mid on average. Even though we've had two we've had like 3 good seasons, one overall one that's like half bad, half good. Then season 5, you had first sec volume 1 was good, was decent. Volume 2 was complete trash. The final episode was bad. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I've seen worse, especially with the previous 3 episodes. But it's not a good season. Gosh, it is the worst season of Stranger Things. It is. But yeah, overall, it's an okay show. I wish it finished stronger. Like, I wish it ended on a higher note. Because with how big it was, it should have ended on a higher note. Marty Supreme. So this is a sports, comedy drama movie starring Timothy Chalamet. It's loosely based on it's inspired by a real life American table tennis player Marty Reisman, who sadly passed away December 7th, 2012. But he was one of the bigger names in table tennis as far as Americans go, like regarded as one of the best American table tennis players ever. Anyway, so this movie is about guy named Marty Mauser. So in 1952, New York City, basically Marty's a shoe salesman working for his uncle Murray. He doesn't. He wants to. He competes professionally as a table tennis player, and he wants to go to London to play in the British Open to defeat, defending champion Bela Kletsky, who's like a friend of his, basically to bring American attention to table tennis. Now Marty's owed $700 in 1952 money, by the way. Basically, he's owed money, but to pay for the trip, but Murray wants him to wait. Marty, basically because Murray doesn't want him to go to London. Murray wants Marty to be a manager at the shoe store. Marty convinces a coworker named Lloyd to let him get the money, but stages a robbery. So in London, Marty, you know, does very well there. He one thing is he meets an actress named Kay Stone, played by Gwyneth Paltrow. There's this thing with age difference there, and Marty also meets Kay Stone's husband, Milton Rockwell, who sells pens. Basically, Marty starts having an affair with Stone, and in the semifinals, Marty defeats Kletsky, but he's defeated by Koto Endo, a player from Japan who uses a sponge racket, and his how he plays like Marty did not know how to deal with, and so Endo wins. So Marty and Kletsky, they perform as a comedic act, for the Harlem Globetrotters traveling the world. Marty first did not want to do it, but I guess the money, I don't know how much money it was in 1952 money, how much he was being, but he and Kletsky, I guess, were doing pretty well. So Rockwell, who Marty was, I mean, Marty wanted to screw Stone, and that's probably why he met Rockwell, but and also Rockwell, given his biz, could help do promotional stuff. And Rockwell sees Mar's game. He gets into table tennis. He decides to do a promotional match between Marty and Endo in Tokyo and have the world championships. But Marty refuses once he learns that he would have to throw the match in order to appease Japan. And Marty crosses a line when Rockwell's son was killed by Japanese soldiers during World War II, and Marty brings that up about his son being killed. He's like, you wanna appease the people that killed your son. And let's say Rockwell, who's played by Kevin O'Leary, Rockwell does not like that. He basically tells him get out. Now Marty returns to New York. He's arrested for stealing money stealing from Murray's safe. But Marty escapes, and so then Marty learns that Rachel Misler, who's a childhood friend of his that he was having an affair with, is pregnant, and basically Rachel believes that Marty's the father. Marty says that Rachel's husband is the father, who's her husband's name is Ira, but basically the kid's Marty's. And so basically, and so Marty then learns that he's been banned from the World Championships until he pays a $1,500 fine. And stays in a really bad hotel with a friend or to hide from the cops and stuff. And when he's using a bathtub, it collapses, crushes the arm of a guy named Ezra Mishkin. And so Mishkin offers to pay Marty to take Moses to a veterinarian while he recovers. Marty and his friend Wally, they have to take the dog with them, but they drive to a bowling alley to hustle some people in ping pong. The people they hustle try to attack Mario Wally at a gas station. And that leads to Wally's taxi, which is the car they're driving, getting damaged, and Moses gets out of the car and disappears. So now Kay gets back into acting. Rockwell pays for a play for that to happen, and Marty tries to sell one of Kay's necklaces at a pawn shop, but it's costume jewelry. And Rachel goes towards Marty with a black guy, saying that Ira has beaten her. Marty attacks Ira as alleged payback, and basically Marty and Rachel try to get Moses back from this farmer in order to, potentially get some money from Michigan for getting him back. But a farmer who had taken Moses in shoots at them and they flee. Now, Marty did break into the house to try to get Moses, but the farmer should have handled it better. And when they get back, so they had taken a friend, so Marty had been working on a business idea with a friend, with the friend his name Dion, to have orange-colored ping pong balls to help. So if someone's wearing white, they could still see the ball. Because that's an issue. If it's because there was an issue during match where hitting the white ball, someone was wearing white, it affected how he could see the ball. And so yeah, so basically, I guess the business idea hasn't gone. Dion gets mad at one point, throws all the balls out the window. Now in real life, we do have orange ping pong balls. That is the thing in real life. Anyway, so when they get back, Dion kicks them out due to the damage that was done to his dad's car when Mari and Rachel try to get the dog. And Mari sees that the black eye, it's a fake. Basically it was makeup put on to make it look like she was beat up. And so Marty goes to Kay's play, polishes through the fake necklace, and Kay says Kay says that she sees through his bullcrap and gives him a real necklace, and to pay for his trip. And basically, they didn't have sex in Central Park, but they're caught by some cops. Then use the necklace as a bribe, but and then basically, so hey, after some begging from Marty, relents and goes to get another necklace. But after reading a negative review about her performance, gets emotional. Basically, she's sad over that. Then Marty tries to beg Rockwell into letting him into letting him do the job that was offered. Rockwell accepts basically it, it on the condition that Marty lets himself be publicly paddled in front of the guests. Which and basically Marty has to pull his pants down and and his underwear down and basically allow Rockwell to paddle him with like a sponge paddle and basically in front of the guests. And so for that, then Rockwell then agrees to pay for the trip. So Michigan forces Marty and Rachel to so Michigan had kidnapped Rachel after Rachel tried to get another dog to same breed to I guess look pass off as Moses. Michigan did not fall for it, so he kidnapped Rachel, forced Marty and Rachel to help him get the dog, and so basically there's a shootout, and so the farmer gets shot, Michigan gets shot, Marty steals Michigan's money, the driver's wounded, Marty just gets the driver out and but now Rachel's wounded, but she's taken to the hospital. She goes to surgery for that, but she also gets moved to the maternity ward She goes to labor prematurely, but Marty goes to Tokyo. He does his basically part of the fake match is that hey, loser has to kiss a pig. They do the the promotional match, but then he announces the stage and he convinces the crowd and Indo to a actual rematch, like an actual game. The match happens. Marty wins. Close match. He basically he compliments Indo, so basically they make peace. And so the military flies him back home. He gets to the hospital and he sees his newborn his newborn son, crying in joy at seeing his kid, and that's how it ends. So yeah, I thought it was a good movie. I would say probably Timothy Chalamet's best performance. Like definitely, like I would say, it might be his best. Like it's not my personal pick for best actor this year, but usually Timothy Chalamet is gonna get nominated for best actor for his performance in Marty Supreme. That is just a fact. He's gonna get nominated for best actor. I could see this movie being nominated for best picture, like based on how critics vote for that. But I mean, it wouldn't be my pick for best picture. Like for best actor, my pick, of course, would have been Edwin Horrocks, who played Helmut Hoover in Truth and Treason. But I will not complain about Timothy Chalamet winning it. I definitely basically he definitely deserves a nomination. I do think Chalamet is going to win. Like I don't think it's going to be Leonardo DiCaprio for one battle than another. I don't. Like Chalamet does a significantly better performance than Leonardo DiCaprio. Leo will get nominated just due to the voters for that award, but I think Chalamet is going to win best actor. That's what I think. I think Timothy Chalamet is going to win best actor. And I'm not going to complain. I thought this was a good movie. You know, I wouldn't necessarily put in the top 10 of the year, but I think this was still a good movie. Well, that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.